What comes to mind when you hear the words self-harm? Maybe that emo kid slicing up their wrist? Or that known depressed girl hurting herself? Maybe the one self-harming is that boy dressed all in black. But the reality of self-harm is that it's not limited to certain stereotypes, as our society seems to imply. Normal kids self-harm too. Self-harm, also known as self-injury or self-poisoning, is defined as the intentional, direct injuring of body tissue without suicidal intention. Now, although skin cutting is the most common form of self-harming includes burning, scratching, interfering with the healing of wounds, hair pulling, hitting or banging on body parts, or the ingestion of toxic substances or objects. Self-harm accounts for 40 to 60% of all suicides. Now, a lot of people may be thinking, why would someone self-harm? Some people use it as a coping mechanism for depression or stress, while others may have a mental illness. Some still, it might be in their genetics, or drugs and alcohol could play a factor in it. For a lot of people, they don't realize how serious it can be. As in with a cutter, when you cut yourself, you don't know exactly how deep you're going or what you're hitting when you're doing this, so they don't really realize the danger in it. Now, signs of self-harm, since 80% of it includes stabbing or cutting your skin with a sharp object, there will be visible marks, but they are mostly in areas that are easily hidden, such as on the arm, where you can just throw on a hoodie or a long sleeve sweatshirt and it's covered up, or on the legs with a pair of jeans, or sometimes on the stomach. What to look for with some cutters would be small linear lines or unexplained cuts or scratches. Mood changes could indicate some self-harm. And because I feel that learning from others' experiences is important, I talked to a friend about this, and so this is basically his story. His name's Nick, and by talking to Nick, he is probably one of the happiest boys that you will ever talk to. He's a happy boy. But Nick, for a year and a half, was burning himself. So what happened was his girlfriend found out about it, and he told me that the look on her face was more painful than any burn that he had ever experienced. And the way he defined self-harm or burning was that it's like an addiction that eats at you. But so far he stopped, and so far he has been 11 months clean to today, and I have to say I'm very happy about that. His advice to a self-harmer is to tell someone. Don't be afraid to get the help that you need. Not necessarily from a doctor, but from friends and family. And when you get the urge to hurt yourself, think of a loved one. Now, to the loved ones of the self-harmers, you can't make them stop. You cannot take them to a hospital and give them medication. You cannot give them an ultimatum, and you can't bribe them into stopping the self-harm. The ultimate person who needs to stop this is the self-harmer themselves. But what you can do is create a good support system, and let them know that you're there for them through anything that happens. So I think that's it for this video. Leave questions or reactions, I guess, in the comments below, or post a video response. Any questions to myself or to Nick, I'm sure he wouldn't mind answering them. So you could leave those in the comments, and I will make sure he gets them. So, I think that's it for this video. Goodbye for now. And I forgot to sign off.